Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you our third workout. Today we're going to be using machines. Machines allow us to focus on our muscles, improve our brain-muscle connection. So it's not going to be your main workout. Your main workout where you do only 6 exercises, all with a bar, and constantly progressing with the weights. That's really important in the beginning, but this workout you can add as extra one. For example, you do 3 workouts, basic workouts, progressing with the weights. Let's say Monday, then Wednesday, Friday, and on Sunday, instead of having a rest, chilling, doing nothing, you go to the gym and you improve your brain-muscle connection to involve more muscle fibers. I'm gonna show you a few emphasis and few alternative exercises that you can do for yourself, for legs, for back, for shoulders, everything that we love. Let's go.
Alright guys, so first of all we have to start with a proper warm-up. I hope you watched my first episode where I show you exactly how to warm up your ligaments and joints. Then once you do that, go to do some cardio for about 5 to 10 minutes, no more, because you need to save some energy for the main workout. And the main reason why we need to do a little bit of the cardio to pump our muscles with the blood and the nutrients, increase our heart rate, increase the temperature, so basically our body is completely ready for the work. And I would recommend you to use elliptical machine, which is one of the best cardio machine, especially if you have excess weight, because it protects your knees, it protects your joints, and you can warm up all parts of your body, not only legs. But if you increase the resistance and the incline for about 7 to 8, you can involve your glutes, your hamstrings, then you can help yourself with the arms and a little bit of the back. So no treadmill, especially if you have excess weight, no bike, go on the elliptical machine and use all parts of your body to properly warm yourself up. Then once we finish with the cardio, we start with our main workout. We start with our biggest muscle group, which is our legs. So we start with the main exercise for our legs, which is seated leg press. It's one of the best machine to emphasize different parts of your legs, especially if you're a guy or a lady. You can have different emphasis depending on how you set your feet. If you want to have equal emphasis on your legs, equally engaging your quads, your glutes and hamstrings, just put your feet on the middle of the platform, slightly bend your knees, make sure you have a straight back underneath, and on the inhale, release the weight, go all the way down for about 2 seconds, and on the exhale you push for about 1 second. So 2 seconds down, 1 second up. Focus on the brain muscle connection, focus to engage the right muscles, and focus on the right technique and your breathing, which is really important. For the first set, it's going to be your warm-up set, so don't use any weights. Most importantly, you have to feel your muscles and you have to focus on the right technique. Then when it's a main set, just put a little weight that will allow you to perform the exercise for about 20 to 25 reps and have a little bit of the burning in the muscles, but don't go extreme. Again, main goal is to feel the muscles, improve the brain-muscle connection, and lower the right muscle groups and learn the right technique to engage the right muscles. If you're a lady and you want to emphasize the inner parts of your legs, your glutes and your hamstrings to have a nice, good looking, sexy butt, just place your feet on the top of the platform and spread your legs wider. And again, most important that you have to push with your heels. Always push with your heels, not with the socks. It's really important. Otherwise, the whole load will go on your knees, which is what we don't want. If you're a guy and you actually want to switch off your glutes and your hamstrings and you want to have a big muscular quads, strong quads, just place your feet on the bottom of the platform and put it closer to each other. So therefore you can switch off the rest of the muscles and completely lower your quads. But most importantly that you still push with your heels, not with your socks again, otherwise the whole pressure will go to your knees. And 2 biggest mistakes people do when it comes to the seated leg press. First of all, this machine is super dangerous because you can put a lot of weight on top, and if you do it with the wrong technique, you can easily injure yourself. Number 1, people lock their knees out. I'm sure you've seen many videos where people break their legs on the seated leg press machine because they lock their knees out. Because your muscles right now much stronger than your ligaments and joints. You can put a lot of weight, and if you do it wrong, you can injure yourself. So always keep your knees slightly bended, that you don't put the load on your joints, and always keep the load in your muscles. The second biggest mistake, that people twisting their hips in order to engage more with the glutes. When you don't have enough power to properly push the platform with your quads, you can twist your hips in order to engage more of the glutes, which is biggest muscle group in your legs, but therefore you can easily injure your lower back. So always make sure that your back is flat and really tight to the bench. Therefore you can avoid such injuries. Once we finish with the legs, we can go to the second biggest muscle group, which is our back. Again, we're doing a basic and complex movement for our back, but I would recommend you for this workout to use cable machine. The cable machine, not a free weights. Again, the cable machine allow you to focus on the right technique and the brain muscle connection rather than on the strength and calorie expenditure. So for the back, I would recommend you to go with a seated cable row or horizontal cable row. Most importantly, that you have to do it right again. You have to focus and engage your lats rather than work with your arms. In the average life, most of us use our arms instead of the back. So in this exercise, it's crucial to work with your shoulder plates in order to engage your lats rather than work with your arms. The main focus is to move the shoulders all the way forward, keeping your back straight, and on the inhale or exhale if you want, you can squeeze your shoulders, put them all the way back. Therefore, you can work with your lats, your traps, and the middle back. Never slouch with this exercise. First of all, you can injure your lower back, and second of all, you will work with your arms instead of your back. Again, always keep your elbows slightly bended and make sure, try to not move, try to not bend your elbows even more, otherwise you will engage your biceps. The main focus is gotta be on your shoulder plates, forward and back, forward and back, release and squeeze, release and squeeze. You can mix the horizontal and the vertical cable row. If you want to have a thick back, just do a horizontal cable row. But if you want to have a wide back, just do a vertical cable row. But again, it's really, really important to move your shoulder plates all the way to the top and all the way down with the inhale or exhale. You have to squeeze your rib cage and release. 2 seconds up, 1 second down. That's number one rule. Try to switch off your arms. The vertical cable row is much harder to perform in order to switch off your arms and work with your back, especially if you're a beginner. That's why I would recommend you to still do the horizontal cable row rather than vertical cable row. And the biggest mistake people do with this exercise, they try to move their body with the weight in order to lift more, but stop chasing big weights and fake results and focus on the right technique. Later on, you can be strong enough that you can show off. But right now, make sure your back is straight and you barely move your back. It's really, really important. If you struggle with this, just try to do the cable row under your head. Therefore, you can always keep your back straight. Once we finish with the legs and the back, let's go to the third biggest muscle group, which is our pecs or chest muscles. I would recommend you to do a seated incline machine press. So again, no free weights, because on the free weights, you engage in a lot with the stabilizer muscles, and over here we need to have the feeling in your pecs, the burning feeling in your pecs. Again, always do incline press because your chest is not 90 degrees straight. Therefore, the lower chest always gets more attention rather than upper chest. But if you do incline chest press, you can properly load the whole pecs. And again, 2 seconds down with the inhale, 1 second up with the exhale. Never lock your elbows again. Always keep the tension, always keep the load in your working muscles, and try to move with your pecs. Try to feel your pecs rather than push with your shoulders or triceps. If you struggle to feel your pecs, just change the angle or change the seat in order to feel the right muscle group. Once we covered our main muscle groups, we move to the shoulders, arms, and abs. For shoulders or delts, I would recommend you to do a lateral dumbbell raises, but it's really complicated exercise. So you have to take a little weight in order to feel your delts, because most of the time people perform this exercise using their traps, which is a smaller muscle group but much stronger, and that's exactly what we try to avoid. That's why take a little weight, and the second rule is to keep your shoulders all the way down. Don't raise them up in order to lift more, keep them down and perform the exercise within the little motion. You have to feel your mid-delt, which is one of the most complicated muscle group to feel and improve your brain-muscle connection. Try to focus on the upper part of the movement. Always keep the tension in your muscle. Don't release the weight completely, and always keep the focus on the right muscle group. Then to have a proper load to our bicep, I would recommend to do one of the best exercise for bicep peak, which is the preacher bicep curl. The bench in a 45-degree angle allow you to focus on the bicep peak all the way up and feel and engage the right muscle fibers. With this exercise, you avoid any cheating and you only work with your biceps, which makes this exercise one of the best to feel your biceps. Focus on the bicep peak and the upper part of the movement, rather than again try to lift as much weight as possible from the bottom. Then for the triceps, you can do a few different exercises. If we're talking about basic and complex movement, I would obviously recommend you bench dips or triceps bench dips. But it's quite complicated to feel your triceps with this exercise and switch off your pecs and your shoulders. So if you want to isolate your triceps, just do a bent over triceps kickback or triceps kickback. Therefore, when you have a 90-degree angle, you can switch off any other muscles and work only with your triceps and feel that burning in your triceps, which is what we try to achieve. Right, and we finish with our abs. For abs, I would obviously recommend you to go with the crunches. Try to do it in the Roman chair. Therefore, when you keep your knees higher, you can avoid the cheating with this exercise. To do it properly and properly engage your six-pack muscles, do it slow, under control, do it with the inner amplitude of the movement, and try to feel that burning in your abs. A little bit more complicated version of the crunches is reverse crunches. If you want to focus not only on your upper abs, but work with the whole abdominal muscles, try to do the reverse crunches. But again, you have to focus on twisting your hips and bring them all the way up. Rather than just raise your legs, focus on your hips. You have to bring your hips all the way up. And if it's quite complicated for you, you can bend your knees a little bit, but again, try to keep the tension in your abs. And at the end, I want to show you one of the worst exercise for your abs, which is hanging leg raises. Again, it can be one of the best ab exercise if you do it right, but most people do it wrong. They just raising their legs. They think that they work with their abs, but in reality, all they do is working with their hip flexors. That's the only muscles that really work, and the abs working in the static. So if you want to do it right, you gotta make sure to focus on your hips. You have to twist your hips all the way up rather than focusing to bring your legs all the way up.